You guys only had 6 shots at the rim. Is that a obvious place that you need to improve?
Yes, Tim, I would say that's a place that we have to get better at. If we only had 6 of them.
Jason, this is the third. Sorry, over
Oh,
here. This is the third series y'all have started with a loss in game one. What can you draw on? What do you think the guys can draw on in terms of turning things around after a night like tonight?
um, there's a team out there that's won a championship starting the same way, losing the first game. So that's a positive, and we've always found a way to answer. So there's we don't have to look too far, but at ourselves of how we've gotten better. We've lost 2 games in a row on the road and found a way to get back in the series. We've lost the first game and got back into the series. So this is one game. They did their part, and now we got to figure out, again, making shots helps our defense, but, give them credit. They were good tonight.
Luca, Jason, we hardly talk about Luca's age because he's had such an impact so early on in his postseason career. But is there any bit of a different type of beast for him at this stage, facing a team that's had so much experience together?
Yeah, I think, well, he's only 23, and we don't really talk about his age, but he understands what they're trying to do, and he'll be better. We believe that in that locker room, and so there's not a lot to say. I mean, we knew what was going to come. We didn't make shots. Again, he got in the paint and created some open looks for guys that normally make them. They just didn't go down this evening.
Jason, over here, you spoke about missing shots. I remember the game against Utah to start off. You guys hadn't missed shots here. When you go through a film session with the guys, is it just a matter of just showing them the shots, or they know what to do? I mean, how do you take the learning from here to game two?
Well, they already know the shots they've missed or made. That's basketball players know every shot they've had, so you don't have to talk about the shots. They've already have the answers. It's a matter of, can we do it again? Can we get those same shots in game two? And hopefully we can. But nothing's easy this time of the year. And again, when we go back and look at the open shots that we had, we created, we got a lot of them. We just didn't knock them down in that first half.
Jason, you guys faced Gobert in the first round and obviously Ayton in the second round. Looney's not a physical specimen, in terms of being a center, but what kind of challenge does he present in terms of his versatility, especially on defense?
Yeah, he's a great team defender. He doesn't get enough credit for his defense. He understands the schemes, and then, they have a great free safety or linebacker, however you want to, look at Draymond. He's the talker. He positions everybody. He talks the defense out, and they all trust him. And so he doesn't get enough credit for his defense, but he's good at what he does.
Coach, you mentioned you want to get back to being more physical the next game, especially on the defensive side. How can guys, particularly like Dorian Finney-Smith and Reggie, do that while also staying within the confines of the game and not getting into foul trouble or anything?
Well, I thought they did a great job tonight. You're going to get some fouls. It's just understanding, how to be physical, and playing within the rules. And those two do it at a very high level. They only had 4 fouls tonight, so they weren't in foul trouble. So, again, it's not just those two, but it's the team. We have to be physical, and not just on the defensive end, on the offensive end. Thanks, Coach. Thanks.
I thought Wiggs was fantastic. Doncic is as difficult a cover as there is in this league, and we just asked Wiggs to try to hound him and guard him as best as he could, stay in front, and try to keep the pressure on him. And he did a fantastic job. So Wiggs is just a huge part of our defense and our team. I thought he was great offensively as well. So great night for Andrew.
Steve, let me make sure I'm reading this right. When's the last time you saw Steph lead a playoff game with 12 rebounds?
Ask Raymond. Raymond knows all that stuff. But Steph's always been a really good rebounder. For a guard, for a guy his size, he's just got a knack for the ball. And obviously did a great job. There were several where you could see him kind of come over from the weak side because he read where the ball was going to go before anybody else did. And so he's got a good knack for it. And I thought the rebounding was a big factor tonight. 52-34. So we did a good job on the glass.
Steve, how did you like the poise and taking care of the ball and just so many guys getting involved in the scoring and rebounding effort?
Yeah, it was good. I thought we were in a little bit of a rush early. And once we settled down, the ball started to move a little bit better and we started getting better shots. That's to be expected though. Game one of the conference finals, everybody's amped up and so we just needed to settle in and we did that.
You guys threw out a lot of different looks defensively. How important do you think that was in limiting Luka?
Well, I think you can't do the same thing with Doncic every possession. You got to be able to mix it up. He's too good. And so we tried to do some of that. And, one game, we did an excellent job defensively, but we're under no illusion that we've figured anything out. We just played really hard and competed and tried to contest shots. But, there's a good chance those shots start going in next game. So we've just got to stay committed and stay aggressive, play with force and see what happens.
You had Wiggins pick up Luka full court several times. Is that just kind of to slowly try to fatigue him?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's important to try to make him work. He's so good. Any great player in the league, you're just trying to limit the damage that they do. And so I think Wiggs picking him up, trying to make him exert some energy was definitely helpful. But, other teams have done that plenty and he's been able to play through that. So as I said, it's one game. We did a good job, but we got to turn our focus to Friday.
I know throughout the run, your shooting has gotten so much attention and how you've won championships, but it always struck was the defense was always pretty consistent. Was this as strong a defensive performance from start to finish game plan as you had this season, at least?
It was an excellent defensive night overall. We had the second ranked defense in the league this year. So we take pride in our defense. I think everybody sort of leans on Draymond. Draymond sets the tone for us. And so we had a good defensive night, but we can't let our guard down.
Steve, there was that play there, I think it was the third quarter, where Steph got trapped in the corner and throw that kind of looping overhead pass back to Draymond. Draymond hits him back for the three. Given all the troubles you guys sometimes have with turnovers and looping passes, just take me through how you're seeing a play like that develop. What is it, obviously there's the chemistry between Steph and Draymond on that too, but the whole package of it, maybe the anxiety, but also the fun that kind of went with that.
Yeah, we work on that play. It's called looping pass 2. Those guys have a synergy from playing together for a decade. So Clay as well. So there's a lot of value in that. And Draymond has always been sort of the fulcrum of our offense as a passer, screener. He sees the floor so well. He sees those guys working off the ball. He sees the backdoor cuts. So that was an example of those guys just knowing each other well and Draymond knowing exactly what Steph was going to do. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think Looney set a pin down for him after that pass came back out to Draymond. So you can put Looney in there too. There's a lot of continuity with our team that's important, and guys read each other well.
Steve, you talk about Andrew's defense on Luka, but nobody else in the Mavericks really got going. What was sort of the key to the rest of your defense in when he gave it up, not anybody else getting wide open looks like they have in the past?
They spread you out dramatically. I mean, they took 48 threes, and it's hard to cover all that ground. So it requires a ton of effort. And for the most part, that effort was there. And, we really contested shots well and tried to challenge everything we could. So it was a matter of just playing with a lot of force and really bringing the effort.
You mentioned defending their 3-point shooting. Draymond held them 0 of 9 from 3. What do you think of his defensive performance in particular?
Draymond?
Yeah, Draymond.
Yeah. As I said, Draymond he's the key to our defense. He's our kind of our middle linebacker. And against a team like this that spreads you out, you have to make good rotations and good reads. And so he is one of the best in the world doing that, and, kind of getting everybody organized and talking.
One more quick one for you. Oh, during the regular season, we talked a lot about how an assertive and aggressive Andrew Wiggins is the best version of him for this team. Is there a different spark in his eye, maybe before the game, or that's kind of telling of, oh, he's just going to absolutely go for it tonight?
I just think that Andrew's in a really good groove. He's had an excellent playoff. He's played well. In every series so far, he's comfortable. He's confident. He believes in himself. He believes in the team and what we're doing. And so this is who he is. He's been just really, really consistent at both ends.
Steve, Clay had 0 at halftime. I don't know if you noticed that. Did you sense anything was coming? Was there any issues with him offensively in the first half? Did any of that really matter to you, or did you just know it was going to come in the second half?
I just thought both Clay and Steph were in a rush early in the game, and we just needed to slow down and move the ball a little bit better. And once we did that, the game started to open up for both guys. And it's how the playoffs are. Everybody's so amped up, and you gotta settle in. And it just took those guys in particular a little bit of time to settle in.
Steve, you've talked many times in the past about Curry's ability to forget things or to have no conscience or whatever. He has a bad shot, a bad streak, a bad quarter, to just completely forget it and move on. Was this kind of an example of that tonight? Maybe.
Yeah. I mean, the best players all have that knack for turning a bad game into a good one. It's a really difficult thing to do. But when you have that kind of confidence and that kind of experience, when you've been through everything, you've been through a lot of games where you have a slow start and you're able to find it, then you feel comfortable in that setting. I thought that was the case with Steph.
Steve, you've said the last couple of days just how much this means to the guys after the last 2 tough years. You missed a few games. Did it feel pretty good to be back on the bench and just in this atmosphere? It was loud and much like Game 6 here the other night. That just a pretty great atmosphere. Yeah,
it was great to be back. I missed being out there with the guys, and amazing atmosphere here at Chase, and we're excited to keep going.
Steve, you shot like 70+% from 2.
I'm sorry.
You shot like 70% inside the arc, and you're getting kind of what you wanted. Is that like your ideal game when the execution is that high and you can get kind of the looks you want inside the paint?
My ideal game is to shoot 70% from 3, actually. But I thought we took what the defense gave us. They did a good job taking away a lot of our threes, and a lot of our guys made those mid-rangers that I think you have to make in the playoffs. I just feel like teams are going to take away layups. They're going to take away threes. If you can step in and knock down some 15-footers, I think you have to be able to do that. We've been lucky to have great shooters over the years who have been able to knock down that shot, whether Steph, Clay, Kevin, now Otto is really good mid-range shooter. If it's there, that's the shot you got to take.
Jordan obviously, did a ton for you offensively, but this series will probably be about how well he can survive defensively. What did you think of, I guess his overall night, but particularly on the defensive end?
Yeah, I thought Jordan had a really good night. They were definitely attacking him. He got 5 fouls. I thought he had a couple of tough calls, but he can do better showing his hands. Sometimes you get your hands out like this and a player bowls into you, you're the one who gets the call because it just looks like you're reaching. If you can show your hands, then you're more likely to not get called for a foul. And I think that's something he could probably do better next game. Thanks.
Yeah, I think we had a lot of good looks. Just the ball didn't go in for us tonight. Yeah, that's really it. Ball didn't go in for us as much as we hoped. But we'll come back. We'll get better and be prepared for game 2.
What happened there and late in the second quarter? It was a 2-point game at one point, Jalen, and then it's kind of got away from you guys.
I mean, they're a good team. You gotta give them credit. They're a great team. They've been a great team for a long time. They made a run, and we kind of knew that we need to finish quarters better because we know that in the third quarter they're a great team. They come out firing, and that's usually when they do the damage. And so we got to do a better job finishing quarters, and in the beginning of the second half, we got to play with a little more, determination on the defensive side of the ball, knowing that's when they try and go.
Jalen, it's always different in every series, but you guys have been down 1-0 in the first 2 as well and came back. So the confidence factor still there, and the experience factor, having done that before, good for you guys?
Yeah. We've been in this position before. We're not going to dwell on it, but at the same time, we know that we have to get better. We have to be better. I have to be better, most importantly. Should I go back to the drawing board and get ready for game 2?
Jalen, to follow up on that too, in what ways do you think, for specifically for your game, can you improve, or what could you take advantage of better going forward?
I think for us, it starts on the defensive end. We got to play better defensively. We got to be more connected, talking, just be on the same page. And I think that's the beginning of it. And our offense is going to come. We'll be fine on offense. We had a lot of good looks tonight, and maybe just trust our work ethic and our technique. I'm comfortable with the shots that we got tonight that we'll go on in game 2.
Jalen, in totality, how do you evaluate the defensive work that you guys did tonight? 'Cause it seemed like you were at least effective in chasing them off the 3-point line, but it seemed like every mid-range look they had, they hit.
Yeah, they're a team that keeps playing, and they're not just looking for the first option. They know that the first option's not there. They're going to run something, keep running. The second option's not there. They're going to keep going. Third, fourth, however long it takes to get them a good, clean shot. That's how they've been for the last decade. It's just that we got to have the same effort on the defensive side of the ball. No, it's not going to be the first or second thrust. It's going to be the third, fourth, or fifth.
Jalen, Jason Kidd said the Warriors are more physical tonight and that you guys need to do a better job of that moving forward. How do you guys think you can do that? Because it seemed like their defense did a good job of frustrating both you and Luka when you guys were trying to create on offense.
Yeah, their defense was they stuck to the game plan tonight, held us under 100 points fairly easily. We just got to be better, plain and simple.
Jalen, they put Draymond Green on you at the start tonight. That was the matchup for a lot of the night. How does that change things for you personally, trying to attack, and the team having one of their bigger guys and one of their better help defenders on you?
Yeah, I think for me and our team, is as long as we stick to our game plan and do what we're supposed to do, put us in the best position to be successful, no matter who's guarding who.
Jalen, I know adjustments start with the coaching staff. How much do players adjust? How much are you already thinking about things that you saw, things that you did, ways that they played you, and how you would do that differently and want to improve at that?
Yeah, I think it starts with realizing where you can be better, where I can be better. I had a lot of open shots and that didn't go in. And I think I just got to concentrate a little better, concentrate at the free throw line, just be a little more focused, pay attention, a little more detail, and those details can be a big factor in the game, and I just got to focus on that.
Stay hungry and expect to
play similar ball on Friday. You know, that's our identity, is being able to stop teams and push the pace.
You alluded to what I was going to ask you next, which is what makes Andrew a special two-way player when he's being assertive and aggressive like he was on offense while also going up against a talent like Luka?
That's why he was the number one pick. You can't teach that athleticism. You can't teach that length. You can't teach his timing. He is I'm just happy the world's getting to see who he really is, and that's an incredible wing player, and he will be like this for the next 10 years.
Just a follow-up to that one. It feels like every stage that Wiggins has been on, he's kind of like upped his game. Have you noticed that? And what do you think it is that he's been able to, like, you know, reach another notch?
I think him being here, he's allowed to be himself. Luckily for all of us, we don't have to shoulder the load anything crazy because we have so many great talented players. It could be somebody's night and the ball will find them. But I mean, Andrew was incredible tonight. I can't say enough good things about him. He makes my job so much easier. I don't have to check the best player every night and again, especially for what I've been through. It's a nice change of pace, but he just doesn't seem to get tired, and his outside shot is also greatly improved, and he's just coming into his own.
That's it. Stuff. No problem.
Great job. That's it. That's all I gotta say. They did a great job.
Do you feel like you guys got as many good looks as you were getting in the Phoenix series? And it's just a matter of the shots not going down, or is there things that you could do to be more productive on offense?
I mean, of course, we can do things to be better. But I think in the first quarter, we had a lot of open looks. Second one, too, but then in the second half, we didn't. So I think in the first half, we had great looks, but we couldn't make them, but not in the second one.
Luka, I saw you walking off the court after the final buzzer, and you had a bit of smile on your face. What was going through your mind in that moment?
Nothing. Just walking off the court. That's it. I mean, looking ahead to game 2, yeah, of course. I mean, it's one game, you know, that's what playoffs is about. If you lose by 1 or you lose by 40, it's really a loss. So we just got to get ready for game 2 now.
Luka, there are a couple points. First of all, how's your face?
Oh, it's good. Makes me look tough.
Sure does. And there were a couple points you looked like you were pulling at your right shoulder. Is everything all right there?
Yeah, I felt a little bit of pain, you know. I shot it and pulled the hand, but it's okay. It's here behind. It's fine. We get some treatment, we'll be fine.
In the second half there, did they throw anything different at you, or did they do anything to kind of disrupt your rhythm to only finish with 2 points in that point?
I mean, yeah, they were doing a great job on me, especially in the second half. But I think I gotta be better. That's not me. And as a leader, you know, I gotta be better for the whole group. So that's on me.
Luka, you guys have faced 2 really good defenses so far through the first 2 rounds. Do you think this is going to be the toughest with the variety of defenders that they have with Draymond, Clay, and Wiggins, different guys that they can throw on you throughout the game?
I mean, of course, it's going to be the toughest. It's the West Finals, you know, and they, like I said yesterday, they're a championship team. They know what this is about. They've been through the bad and the good, so it's going to be really tough. But we believe, you know, like I say, it's game 1. Somebody got to get to first 4 wins first, so it's going to be a good series.
Luka, Jason said you guys weren't surprised by all the different looks they threw at you, but still, is it unusual to see, you know, that many different types of defense that they're, you know, breaking out just for even a possession or 2?
I don't think so. You know, I've faced those. I mean, I faced like different kind of defenses a lot of times. I think the one game against Charlotte, I never seen that many defenses on me. I remember we played. That was really that I didn't. How to say? I forgot the word. English is not my first language, so I get the pass.
It's 3rd, right?
No, it's 4th.
4th.
But I wouldn't surprise. Yeah.
Gotcha. When was the game against Charlotte? Was it this season?
Yeah, this season.
Okay.
They threw a lot of different. They was playing zone first and box and one. There was a lot of different coverages.
Gotcha. Thanks.
What in particular, Luka, do you guys have to do in order to even this series up on Friday?
I mean, we got to play better. That's it. You know, we got to play tougher. We got to play better. It's just like the Phoenix series after game one, and then we got to learn from there. You know, their game two was the same as game one, so we got to learn from that, and we got to come out harder, play harder, and play better.
Luka, you guys were relaxed before game one and very confident after losing tonight. What's your confidence level and the team's confidence level?
Same. Like I said, you know, I said in Phoenix series we're gonna believe. So the confidence is the same. You're not gonna win. I mean, it's tough to win every game. So some you're gonna lose, but the confidence stays the same.
Luka, you were very complimentary to Draymond and the way he can impact the game for Golden State. Tonight, if the tracking stats are correct, you guys were 0 for 9 shooting threes when he was the primary defender. Is there something that you can point to that he did specifically in that space to make it so difficult for you guys?
I mean, he's a great defender. You know, he won the Defensive Player of the Year. He organized the whole Warriors defense. He's the one talking. He's the one that talks a lot, moves the people around. So it's always tough to play against him offensively. But like I say, you know, we got couple great looks in the first half. We couldn't convert them, so I think we gotta be better and play better.
Luka, you hit contested shots, tough shots on a regular basis. Tonight you didn't. Did you feel like you got looks that are, you know, by your standards, good looks? Did you generate looks for yourself you were comfortable with?
I think some yes, some not. But you know, that's if it goes in, I feel good about it. But today it didn't. But I think the whole team, you know, we didn't shoot the ball great. We were 22 from 3, so I think we gotta attack the paint more. You know, we settled for threes a lot today, so we gotta attack the paint more. Thank you.
Yeah, just try to be aggressive and, you know, put them in the rotations. Good thing about the playoffs is that it's a different series now, and now we got to find the patterns and the rhythm that they have defensively, and we were able to execute tonight. But I'm sure they're going to switch things up in game two, and just got to find ways to adapt.
Andrew picked up Luka full court a bunch tonight. As a guy who handles the ball at times, does that get annoying over the course of a game if a defender's kind of picking you up, even if they're not trying to steal the ball?
Well, I mean, I feel like it depends on your handle personally. I mean, if you don't really trust your handle and you got a pressure in the backcourt and your responsibility is to set up the offense, may be different, but Wiggs is an amazing defender, and being able to have him pick up Luka 94 really helps us. So tremendous effort and great game by Wiggs.
It just feel different than the Memphis series, not putting anything down on Dallas, but just the tempo, the feel of this was did you notice the difference?
Yeah, they're a completely different team. So you see different series, and like I said earlier, you got to find ways to adapt. And like I said, I'm sure they'll throw something different in the second game and watch film, and we just got to be ready to have counters for that.
Jordan, what does it mean to you guys to see Steph lead you in rebounding and doing all the little things until his shot starts falling, just taking charge in other ways?
Yeah, it just shows how it shows how all of around player he is, and especially our PG getting back in there and getting rebounds. Being able to push the ball, get us into stuff. Tremendous rebounder as it is already. So being able to have him go in there and make plays and get us out on the run helps a lot.
How did it feel for you tonight to have 19 points after the last three games against Memphis? You kind of maybe didn't score as much as you liked. The impacted the game in different ways?
Yeah, it felt good to win. Felt good. And if there are adjustments, there's going to be games where, you score 30 or you score 5 or whatever it is. And we have so many talented players, and we're really connected as a team that as long as we go out there and we win. That's all that matters.
I mean, you really just answered your own question, to be honest. I mean, we were 11 for 48 from 3, and maybe 8 of those are bad, right? So that means you got 40 good looks at 3. You at least want to hit 15, 16 of them. So 5 more threes, 15 more points. During the course of the game, we were down probably about 20, just push you in the game. So.
Does some of the confidence, Spencer, comes from the fact that you were down 0-1 against Utah in the first round and 0-2 against Phoenix in the second round?
Oh, yeah. I mean, of course, it's a series. You know what I mean? I don't think Golden State's sitting over there saying they won the same way we ain't sitting over here saying we lost. You know what I'm saying? We got to get 4 wins. So, same vibe.
Yes, but their defense and how they can throw multiple guys at different guys, how much is that disruptive, and how do you guys adjust to that?
Yeah, I think every series has a different makeup, right? And this team has its very clear, distinct differences than the past 2 we've played. One of the best parts about both Coach Kidd and Luka are their ability to adjust and adapt. So I'm expecting us to do the same heading into game 2. Obviously, I think we have reason to be confident. I don't think we're going to shoot as poorly. Like you said, they threw different defenders, different defenses at us. And so now it's just about looking at the film and coming back with solutions.
Speaking of Luka being able to adjust, sorry, that was my fault. What's stood out to you most in being his teammate these last few months about the way he's able to dissect something that maybe they throw at him one game and he's able to answer that pretty quickly?
He's just brilliant. You know what I mean? I think he's seen every defense from probably playing professional overseas when he was younger. And, if you've seen it before, you probably developed counters for it. And so now it's just about continuing to improve game by game. And he's one of the best in the business at doing that.
How do you keep them from playing at the pace they want to when Draymond's so good at getting the rebound and just getting them out running?
I mean, I think making shots probably helps some of that, stifle some of their transition. And then just communication and talking out our matchups, doing that properly. I mean, obviously they've done this at a high level for, 8 years now? They've probably been the best team in the league since 2015 or so. So, they're going to do what they do to a certain extent. But if we make shots, don't turn it over as much, there's definitely a lot of room for improvement.
Is there any shell shock or brief adjustment to the way they play offensively? They're like the off-ball movement and the speed with which they execute that, as opposed to kind of creating space through pick and roll actions as frequently. Like, as a defender, do you have to, get up to speed against just playing them?
I don't think shell shocked is the right adjective. I mean, like I said, they've been the best team in the league probably since 2015, right? Like combined record or whatever. Right. But in terms of adjusting, of course, each series, like I said, it has its own makeup, takes its own, has a life of its own, right? And so this one's going to be completely different with their off-ball movement. They don't rely on pick and rolls, like you said, like the other teams have. So just getting adjusted and getting ready for game 2.
How much are adjustments, I know it starts with the coaching staff. How much are you personally already seeing adjustments, already thinking about things you did or didn't do, and how you want to be better at those going forwards?
Yeah, I mean, definitely, right? Like we self-evaluate, self-correct as part of what makes us NBA players. I mean, at the end of the day, right, we're one of the best 5,000 or so people to ever do this in the history of mankind, right? So, we got to be pretty solid, even if you Theo.
Is he 5,000th?
Nah, maybe like 4,900.
I'm just glad I didn't make that comment. Spencer, you guys can't make up for the experience gap here because they've been together, you mentioned, for 8 years. But how do you feel like poise could be something that will benefit you guys? And how was that challenged in game one?
I mean, I wouldn't call it a lack of poise. Like I said, I think it's tough to come in on the road and beat the Warriors anytime, right? Especially in the Western Conference Finals after they had a little bit of rest. Plus, we missed shots. Like, it's just, it is what it is. Like, we lost game one. But our group does a great job of staying together. I mean, I think that's why our bench gets so many fines, right? Like, we all love each other, and so we got each other's back. I don't think there's any type of we're not standing at the line. We're blinking. You know what I mean? Like, we're ready to go toe-to-toe with these guys. We know what we can do. We beat them in the regular season. Like, you just got to make the adjustments and move on. We lost game one in Utah, or not in Utah, but against Utah, and we're down 0-2 against Phoenix. So. No problem. Got it.
Let's make them work. That was the main thing. 94 feet, to make him work. Pick him up, make everything tough for him. He's good. He's a good player. Great player. So he's gonna make shots. He's gonna do his thing, but just stay on him, make it tough.
Is that tiring for you at all when you have to pick up full court?
I mean, I feel like I'm still young. I don't really get too tired. I'm locked in. I'm motivated. And when you see it work, or I feel like it's helping us play better, it just motivates me to do it more. And I'm not tired or nothing. It's adrenaline. I just feel good.
You're not obviously trying to like rip his dribble necessarily. What are your goals? Or just turn him a couple times? Or?
Just make him work. That's it. Just trying not to let him get comfortable. And every shot, everything he does is make it tough.
Andrew, when you were watching Game 7 against the Suns and just kind of looking at what Luka was doing and thinking in your head, what am I going to do against this guy when I pick him up? What was going through your mind? And did you decide right then and there that you were going to do your best to stop him?
Yeah, he's a hell of a player. So, there's going to be nights like that. But he's a force. He's really, really good, really talented, can do everything. So just try to limit him and just, like I said, make it tough.
Did you see him getting frustrated at all?
Nah, I was playing defense, and if the ball went the other way, I was running back. I didn't really focus too much on it.
The last few games, I feel like we've seen more joyous reactions from you, and you've been playing better each playoffs or as the playoffs have gone. Do you feel like there's a difference level that you're bringing, during the postseason?
For sure. Everything right now is very detailed. Everything matters. And just doing everything I can to help win, regardless of what the task is. Or the challenge is, I'm just going to try my best.
You talked about the adrenaline on the defensive end and how that doesn't tire you, so it doesn't tire you out or anything. But does that also then translate onto the offensive end where maybe you're hunting your shot a little bit more, trying to be more assertive on that end?
Oh, for sure. That's one thing about me. I feel like defense, helps, fuel my offense. That helps me get going.
Andrew, if I said that Otto Porter Jr. was the best mid-range shooter on the team, would you take exception to that?
Yeah, he's knocked down. He don't miss that mid-range shot. That's him.
Better than you?
I'll give him that. I'm trying to get away from the mid-range right now, so I'll give him that.
Is that you've decided you want to get away from the mid range, or is that just more?
I was just joking. I'm still gonna shoot it.
Okay. Yeah. Gary is the guy a lot that oftentimes did pick up guys full court. Obviously, he's not around. Is that when he went down? Did you tell yourself in your mind like I gotta kind of be that type of defender a little bit more?
Yeah. Gary was You know, Gary's a hell of a defender. He's the type of defender that changes the game. So when he went out, you know, everyone has to step up. You know, everybody. And me, you know, me and him usually guard the best teams, you know, offensive players. So we just got to bring it, like make it tough for him, pick up where he left off.
Andrew, in guarding Luka, obviously he's a huge threat as a scorer, but also as a playmaker. Is your approach take into account both of those things? Are you trying to keep him from getting his teammates going as well? Where's the balance there in terms of his scoring versus playmaking, the way you go at him?
I'm not sure. Just trying to make it tough for him. You know, when whatever happens after that happens. You know, he's good. He's gonna make shots. You know, he's gonna find his teammates. I'm just trying to make it tough.
Clay made a comment that he felt like being here has allowed you to be yourself. I wonder if do you agree with that? Being here with the Warriors, has it allowed you to be yourself in ways that you hadn't before?
It helps me see a different side of the game. Being here, the culture, you know, the people, organization, you know, most importantly, just being around, you know, winners, you know, on a winning team, winning organization, Hall of Famers, future Hall of Famers. You know, it's been great.
You talked earlier this week about when you were coming to the Warriors, just how excited you were to be with like a winning franchise. And now that you guys are winning and this is your Western Conference Finals debut, how much are you just enjoying this ride of the postseason so far?
Oh, I'm enjoying it. You know, I'm enjoying it. You know, we got a chance here to do something special. So I'm gonna enjoy every part of the way. Somewhat. Oh, did you? Oh, that's sweet. Thank you.
Radar on rebounding. Sometimes you get them, sometimes you don't. But a team that shoots as many threes as they do, that requires all the guards to come back and help the bigs catch those long rebounds. Just be alert. They have a couple wings that crash the glass, so you got to put bodies on them. But when you do get those rebounds, it helps us get into the break a little quicker because the guards got the ball, and obviously, you know, it helps us just keep them to one shot. So that I'll get double digits every game, but I have the same intentions, like we should.
Steph, how much different was the defense without the shot blocking you had against Memphis? Was it a drastic compared to Game 6 of the last?
To know, like Powell and Maxi Kleber are different than Steven Adams and Jared Jackson, but they still are a challenge in terms of you don't want to get into a crowd and you don't want to get in positions where you don't have any outlets. And for the most part, we we had a couple possessions in the third quarter where we got in trouble, but for the most part, we were pretty decisive on what we wanted to attack. And once you get into the paint, you do have a couple more options, but you just got to be assertive and decisive on what you're trying to do. JP got into the paint a bunch of times. Obviously finished. I think I had a couple in transition, but when we get in there, there are opportunities to shoot, but there's also opportunities to kick and create the good Warrior basketball ball movement that we're used to. So that's one game. We got to understand there'll probably be adjustments and respond accordingly.
Wiggins was picking up Luka full court at times. You know, you're a guy obviously that the defenses sometimes do that too. Does that annoy a ball handler when you got a guy kind of constantly up in you?
Yeah, it does, and so it's a tactic, obviously, in terms of just making guys work. Reggie did it to me a couple of times. It's just one more thing to think about. I wouldn't say it bothers you, but something you can't try to overcome. Waves is going to keep doing it, but it's just one more thing to think about, and that's good playoff basketball.
What'd you just think about his individual defense tonight, mostly on Luka?
He took the challenge, and Luka's tough, man. Like, he still finds a way to control possessions. You got to assume he'll shoot a little bit better, but Wiggs was relentless. You know, every possession he was out there on him, and that's all we really want. Like, even if Luka has his numbers, you just want him at the end of the day feel like he had to work for everything he got and not give him anything easy. And we have to be able to help him on the backside, our rotations, and they want to try to bring, me and JP into the pick and rolls, communicate the Wiggs, let him know where it's coming from and be on a string. But that point of attack, Wiggs was awesome. And he's showing what he's capable of on that end of the floor.
Steph, there was a play in the third quarter. You got trapped in the corner. You had to throw kind of a tough pass, maybe kind of a wild pass out to Draymond.
That's what I do, throw wild passes.
that play could have gone a lot of different directions, but it ends in obviously a big three. How would you kind of just describe the way that unfolds and the read that you and Draymond have to make that happen, and obviously the difficulty of the pass itself?
It was a long shot pass. I just told them in the locker room just a minute ago. I said, when I threw it and I looked back and I saw it's not going anywhere near Loon, who I was trying to throw it to, and I saw Draymond save it. Sigh of relief on that one. But the way we play, once you get it, the first pass, they had two guys on me, and then we have more actions to follow. That's what we've been doing for years, and there's a chemistry to that. So, good things usually happen. And especially the way, they try to take away the 3-point line on the initial attack. We had like Loon setting a nice down screen for me to get a shot. We had guys cutting on the backside of another possession. So it's great chemistry in terms of creating offense that way, minus the behind the head pass.
You're immediately sprinting out though to catch that pass back from Draymond. Does he already know you're going to do that? Does Loon already know you're going to do that to set that pick? Like,
Absolutely.
How quickly are they figuring out that that's where this is heading?
That's just patterns. You just see me down the floor, Loon in position, set a screen, and as soon as I take my first step back towards the ball coming off the down screen, like, I'm sure Draymond's not looking at anything else. I didn't see the play, but I'm sure his eyes didn't go to the weak side at all. It's just patterns that we're used to, and you could look at a lot of different plays tonight that showed that chemistry in terms of just read and react motion offense.
Steph, was tonight as strong or as focused as the defensive performance that you guys have had all playoff as far as start to finish, and secondarily, how has Andrew evolved or changed since he's been here, since he's been in this Warriors culture?
I don't know how to compare the rest other games, other series, but obviously when you get to this stage, you do have to elevate your execution if you want to win, because the competition gets better, and Dallas is tough. So we did a good job with one game. We got to keep doing it over and over and over again. So however you grade the execution, we got to keep leveling up. And Wiggs is understanding the nuances of what winning basketball is, and just how to key in on the little things in terms of consistent effort on defense, taking those one-on-one challenges, being aggressive on the offensive end, using his athletic ability to get to the rim if he needs to, confident shooting a three, being comfortable in our offense, to Howard's question. So there's like a lot of different things that he's understanding that this time, in terms of a playoff run, requires to win games, and the joy that comes with that. So it's not like he's out there scoring 30 every night. It's the other things that help you win and the joy that you get out of that.
Steph, when you guys play in this building, do you kind of know in the back of your mind that offensive avalanche is coming eventually, whether it's the second, third, or fourth quarter?
there's always that confidence. The Memphis series kind of shook us a little bit from time to time where, 3 quarters, 3.5 quarters, it didn't seem to be clicking. But again, we're all still trying to continue to get better and peak at the right time on both ends of the floor. And we do have the ability to turn it up pretty quickly. You don't want to rely on that and, be playing from behind a lot, but it is how we play. And, when you have that ability to create separation like we did in the third quarter, it's a fun way to play.
You mentioned the Memphis series. Is this series with the difference? Maybe this one this is more mental, where you have to focus on the 5 out. You just can't leave a 3-point shooter, and it's more of that kind of thing than Memphis maybe was physical and aggressiveness. Is that oversimplifying it, or is that the way this
A
feels?
little bit, because there's a lot of nuance to what Memphis did offensively that you had to be aware of. I think this one probably has the potential to be very similar to the last series, where a lot of adjustments from game to game, and you got to be able to react on the fly. Especially in that first quarter, settle into what the flow of the game is, because it's 2 entirely different paces that their comfort zone versus our comfort zone. And you have one guy that can literally dominate a possession if you let him get to spots that he's comfortable with. So that's my best answer for that.
Steph, who's the best mid-range shooter on the team?
It's a good question. Probably Otto.
Do free throws count as mid-range jumpers?
And then it's definitely not me right now.
You've talked about like the movement and the passing and that Warriors basketball. Would it be fair to say that the movement made y'all?
Hey, David's gonna be hype about that one. That's phenomenal. Yeah, the movement made us tonight. So shout out to David Dennis on the assist right there. That was nice. That was nice.
You, Clay, and Draymond have all made note that you haven't played in games with these kinds of stakes for about 3 years now. As you get closer, we're in the conference finals now. Is the energy familiar? Is it familiar but different this time around? Is it entirely different?
We're super comfortable on this stage. I think it's more so just the understanding that because we've been away for 2 years and this is a different team, there's a sense of urgency of how important. This is even hard to say that because every time you go through this, it's important. But it's more gratitude of being back here, and there's more of a sense of urgency on not letting that opportunity kind of slip away. So who knows how it plays out, but I'm enjoying every bit of this. I know Clay is as well, Draymond is, because we haven't played meaningful games at this time of year, in 2 years. So it's special, and that level of comfort when we're out there, it's shown itself, these last 2 series, and hopefully it'll continue to be a key for us to kind of fall back on that experience of what it means what it takes to win, tough playoff games.
You guys strayed away from Looney for a while, tried a bunch of different starting lineups. It has now gotten back to Looney the last couple games. Do you feel like you've rediscovered a little bit kind of who you were during the regular season? He started 80 of the 82 games, and you guys kind of were a defense first unit.
Yeah, the regular season's interesting because, like you said, we started off so well, and when Clay came back, things got shuffled around. I got hurt towards the end of the year, even after Draymond was out for however long he was. He just had a lot of experimenting with starting lineups, and the last 12 games we were trying to find an offensive kind of jump start, and and that was a tough decision to pull him out of the starting lineup for that 1 or 2 games, and then he got back in there. So it was necessary, I think, with where we were as a team and the revolving door of who was available. But it's also part of who we are in terms of things can change really quickly in terms of who's supposed to start, what matchups work in our favor. The ability to adapt from game to game, like we did in Game 6 in the last series, and it all falls back to the chemistry of, even you talk about spacing issues with Loon and Draymond and all that, we still find a way to kind of overcome that. So there's a lot of confidence in what Loon brings, and he's been playing. You got to give him credit. Obviously, he's been playing amazing and making his opportunity worth it.
Steph, since you're reflecting a little bit, do you remember what you thought when Clay said it's championship or bust? That's in November. You guys are 15-2 at the time.
He said that this year? I missed it.
November.
I was confused. I didn't hear it.
November, a couple months before he came back, and you guys were 15-2 at that stage. So
it's funny because him being away, I'm sure I expected him to say something like that just in anticipation of him coming back. But like I said, it's an exciting time to be back on the stage. We're not skipping ahead any part of this journey. We understand we just won 1 game in the Western Conference Finals, and we got a lot of work left ahead of us to get back to the final. So we'd love to make him a profit this year.
You mentioned your free throws and missing the 2 at the beginning. When you miss 2 shots in a set like that, how does that change your mental or mindset? Not in a discouraging way, but do you ever kind of say, I want to avenge those missed free throws?
Always. It's funny. And I got the tip back and I hit a mid range. It was nice. Got the 2 points back, but I shook this one off. You always just talk to yourself, no matter if you're missing shots or free throws or whatever it is. You just talk positive to yourself about what's coming next. I think I blamed it on the 4-day break tonight in my head, and then try to just shake it off. Whatever you can to motivate yourself. I don't ever lose confidence. It's just that self-talk that helps.
Right, great. Let's just go to one on Zoom. Alexander, go ahead.
Thank you. Steph, congratulations on the great victory. I can ask you for the next game, how to avoid getting surprised by Dallas. Same 2 teams, but what do you expect to happen the next game? And another question on 4 for TV, Radio TV of Serbia, about Dejan Milojevic, a new assistant coach this season. Have had a chance to work with him, and what are your thoughts about him joining the team?
He's been a huge help to us. Obviously, he's been working with Wise most of the year and trying to mold him into the player that he wants to be. He gives us a lot of good sets that he draws up, gives a coach from time to time. And he's just a hooper. I saw some clips of him playing overseas. He knows how to play. And he has just a good eye for the game. So he'll give you some gems during timeouts and stuff to kind of look out for. So it's been great to get to know him and his basketball mind. It's been awesome. And we're used to playoff adjustments and game, being prepared and not kind of getting too complacent from game to game because we know we haven't done anything yet. So, you enjoy and celebrate the win. You understand where we could get better tonight, and then you expect them to play better. So we have to elevate our competitiveness and focus to maintain control of the series.
Do you feel the home
Great.
court
Thank you, sir.
advantage?
Appreciate that. So for tomorrow, I believe their media is at noon here.